Hello and welcome back to the channel. There is yet more stirring up in the world that is meant and sent to interrupt people's lives. Right now, thousands of flights are being canceled and there are a number of reasons being given. But that being said, it is all falling in line with the unraveling of these days. A lot of people don't like to hear talk about the end times or the end of the world. When we say the end of the world, we don't mean that the whole thing is just going to pop like a grape and everybody is just going to start floating out into space. When we say the end of the world or the end of time or the end of days, we're talking about the unraveling of life that everyone sees or feels is normal. Okay, that there's going to be something chaotic happening in the world that is going to interrupt everyone's life, right? And all of this was prophesied. We are actually living through biblical prophecy. Some people are starting to see it. People who weren't seeing it before are starting to see it now, that something very real is happening, because we are seeing an escalation in not just natural disasters, but also economic upset, chaos, distress of nations. We keep saying that, right? Perilous times. So much is happening. And when you pile all of that on top of things that have already been happening, where people are just going out of their minds, people are killing each other and robbing each other and just all kinds of things happening, right? People are being deceived while deceiving and being deceived, right? Religious nutcases out here. And I know some people think that we are religious. We are not religious. When you really understand what religion is, it has been tarnished by all of these institutions today. If you really understood what biblical religion was, it is quite different than what a lot of people are claiming to be, right? It is quite different. Okay, there is a service of our Creator that needs to be understood properly, that He don't just take anything, right? And a lot of the stuff that you see happening in the world today is directly related to the fact that He doesn't take everything. He said, look, if the world doesn't change, this is what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, it was already known from the very beginning that all of this was going to take place. So it's not an if the world doesn't change situation, but He said in His word that He has given people space to repent, but they won't repent, right? Because He is all knowing, He also knew that they would not repent, that they would actually go from bad to worse. So as all of these things continue to unravel, we continue to see things that are upsetting people's normalcy or their sense of normalcy. Thousands of flights canceled. Okay, if that's thousands of flights canceled, then that's thousands of people whose life has been interrupted in some way. Someone was going on vacation. Someone was going to visit a family member. Someone was going to a business meeting. Someone was going to a funeral to say goodbye to a relative. A number of different things have been canceled because the flights were canceled. So it's not just the cancellation of flights, but it's also plans that have been interrupted. So much has been interrupted. And when you tie all of this stuff together, when you tie in the fact that so many woes are happening right now in this world, it makes one wonder, what is next? None of this is meant to make you afraid or cause you to fear, but it's to cause you to wake up and open your eyes and realize that something is definitely in the making, right? Something is going on. Something is happening in the world that is beyond our control. And it's all happening all at once. It's like one thing hit and one thing led to another. It's like when the pandemic started, it's like a number of other things, just like a domino effect, just started to unravel right before our eyes. And so that, to me, should cause us to focus more of anything Of course, I did do a video recently where I said, all of the news of all the stuff that's happening is, sometimes it can be troubling to your mind. We can't ignore these things, but we have to learn how to process these things properly so that it doesn't trouble our minds, right? And that comes easier when you have a relationship with our Creator. If you're a person who's just living your life and you just want things to go back to the way they were 2 years ago, then you are kind of thinking in an unrealistic way, and therefore this stuff is troubling to you because you're like, oh, we're not going back to what I wanted. We're not going back to what I was used to. As a matter of fact, we're going in the opposite direction. If you're a person who thinks a certain way and you don't have a connection to our Creator, of course, this is more troubling to you. But when you know what biblical prophecy says, you say, okay, it was stated that it would happen, and now it's happening. Let us get ourselves ready. Let us prepare ourselves. Let us fortify our lives, right? So anyway, I wanted to just chime in on this because this is yet another thing that ties into what we see happening in the world, right? Many of you probably weren't flying anywhere anyway, but for those of you who do fly frequently or every so often, this may be of concern to you, right? Because if this is happening now, it's going to continue to happen at some point in the future because we see that many other things are being interrupted as well. As I told you all before, I have something that I ordered way back in July and it is still not here. And so we are like, let me see, we're 12 days away from when they said we should hopefully finally get it. And I'm thinking to myself, we shall see. That's how I'm thinking. I'm like more like we shall see, right? Because the whole system has been choked up. The whole system. They are just grounding cargo ships, and the transit system period is just out of whack. Trucks, trains, you name it, it is out of whack. There are other things that we've been ordering from time to time. It'll take a lot longer. Like I needed some more bottles for sprays and things. Depending on where you order these things from, you better watch and you better see where it's coming from, right? If you need certain things, you better make sure that it's not coming from a place overseas. You better make sure it's not coming from China. There have been things that we've ordered for the ministry or for our business that if you don't pay attention, you're going to be waiting a long time. You see, and that's what's happening. That's exactly what is happening with the raised bed planters that I ordered back in July. Now, the website did not say that they were coming from overseas. We found that out afterward, right? And so those are the things to consider, that everything is being interrupted, slowed down, inconveniencing things happening. So that means that we've got to prepare ourselves for something possibly much worse. Okay, I am done with this video. In the comment section below, please remember to leave your comments. But until next time, keep it tight and keep it right. Today's topic, please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it, like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.